All right, let's see. I think I'm live. Let's see. Hello, hello. There is a slight delay in the live broadcast. Awesome. Okay. Looks like we are live. Fantastic. Welcome, welcome. It is Thursday, June 19th, 1 p.m. Eastern, and this is Volume 1 of Unfcked Weekly. Yesterday, I launched the first, I guess we can call it episode, volume, session of my newsletter called Project Unfcked, where I'm going to take you through practical, tactical ways to get your shit together, in a nice way. So let's see. I wanted to pull up kind of what inspired this. So I don't know. I've been scrolling through LinkedIn like many of us do, and I have been very frustrated lately with every post is about AI this, AI that. AI made me $200,000 last month. You are doing this wrong. You're doing LinkedIn wrong. You're doing everything wrong. And I don't know. It just sucked the life out of me. And I'm not a social media person to begin with. I really don't post on Facebook or Instagram much at all. For personally, I don't post anything that's going on in my life. So it's been a struggle for me on social media professionally. And I posted on LinkedIn that I was done. I was done with it. And I said, so instead of posting that you're running your projects wrong, your operations is a shit show, you're not prioritizing properly, because you don't want to hear that. You know it in your gut, really. And that was the point of my post on LinkedIn, was that, I know what I'm not doing well. I know how I feel, and I need somebody who gets that. So that's why I started the newsletter, and I threw that together really, really quickly. And that's why I want to do this session. So every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, you can find me here on YouTube. And let me pull up my LinkedIn post. Let's see. My LinkedIn post said, well, you basically know what it says. So what I want to do is I want to make project management feel doable. I want to show you real ways to take the mess that you're working with and turn it into something productive. Not just sending you a checklist, not just sending you a PDF to read, but actually showing you what you can do to be more productive with your work. So if you are watching, I would love if you put in the comments where you're watching from, and what is your biggest project management struggle right now. So the title of today is, so you want to nuke your project management system. 2 weeks ago now, a week and a half ago, I hosted the SOS 3-day challenge, which was the Scrum operating system. And the topic of that was how to organize all of your work into 2-week increments to make your work much more approachable and doable. And one of the homework assignments of the challenge was to brain dump every single project you could think of that you either want to work on, have started working on, maybe is on hold and you haven't touched it in 6 months. No judgment, nothing like that, but just get everything out of your head. And one of the polls I asked on day 2 was, how are you feeling after the brain dump? Are you excited to get going and get organized? Are you a little hesitant? Or one of the answers was, do you want to just nuke everything and start over? And a few people had said they wanted to nuke everything. And that was actually a DM I got on LinkedIn this week also. Somebody reached out who's on my newsletter list, and they said, they've been getting my emails that they need to clean up their project management system. They use ClickUp, and they need to clean it up. It's a mess. They know it's a mess, but they don't know where to get started. And it just seems like a massive undertaking every time they have to do that. A little bit of iced coffee. So that's what inspired today, is that overwhelming feeling of, I have a tool, but it's not working for me. It's overwhelming and I don't know where to get started. So let's just jump right in. You're not here to listen to me talk. I've already said that. So let's get ClickUp open. And what I'm going to do too is I'm going to put in the description. So if you're watching this on the replay, I'm going to give you the link to my newsletter request form. And I just threw it together today. It's really scrappy, but it's if there are topics you want to hear about in the newsletter. So the newsletter is going to talk about, a story. It's all going to be, I'm not going to prepare this weeks in advance. It's going to be what's going on in my world now or your world now. So I'd love if I'll have to, again, I got to get that link to the form, but I would love to get your input on what do you want to learn about in the newsletter? What quick tips do you want to hear about? So let's get into ClickUp, and I'll share my screen. Share screen, live stream. I have I always have technical difficulties. I have my Stream Deck, which I love. So part of my newsletter is going to be like gadgets that I'm playing with or things that I'm testing. So Stream Deck is one of the gadgets that I love, 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 love. All right, let's see, screen share. All right. Oh, that put me down there like I wanted, but where am I? Oh man, I did not prep this ahead of time. Let's see, get that centered. And if you have hung out with me before or seen any of my webinars before, I'm a recovering perfectionist. So this all has to be nicely aligned. Cool. And I'll move my face down here. And let's see, what else do I have to do? What else do I have to do? I got to move me a little bit more to the center. Awesome. Oh, wait, but now that's what you're seeing. Cool. Okay, there I am. So I've got other cool tech things. I got OBS over there. I have you right here. I feel like I'm not very bright. I'm going to go to my camera settings. Let's see. Is that any better? No, I look orange. Let's see. I'm using a Sony ZV-1 4K camera to stream, not a webcam. So I can play with my settings, but here we go. So today, actually, I just did this. I created a new demo workspace in ClickUp. Let's see, I want to make sure I can see the chat too, if anybody is sending chat messages. Let's see. I am very new to YouTube live streaming. If you haven't noticed already. Let's see, if I go to live, I am live right now. Go to my control panel, and I should have all of this. All right, no chats yet. That's okay. If you have questions, please answer or please ask them in the chat. I suck at multitasking. Oh, look, it looks like it put my logo over my face. Let's move my face over here. Ha. Okay. Or I can put my face up here. Doesn't really matter where my face is. Thank you, YouTube. So I made a demo account on ClickUp today. And, oh, come on. There goes my face. Alrighty. Let's get into this. Sorry. I know I'm stumbling a little bit. Appreciate your patience. So to nuke your ClickUp, and for any of you who do not know me, maybe I should have introduced myself earlier. My name is Jackie Mislinski. I am the productivity nerd. I am a recovering perfectionist, process junkie, and productivity nerd, which is the name of my consulting company. So I help business owners and leaders who are overwhelmed, disorganized, and they're managing, or you are managing your workflows with duct tape, caffeine, and prayers. And it's not going to cut it for that long, but you're not really sure where to start. So I'm a certified ClickUp expert and certified ClickUp consultant. ClickUp says that, not me. I am a certified project manager, scrum master, and I help companies to implement ClickUp, standardize their processes, and get their shit together. So really getting your shit together a lot of times starts with being overwhelmed. When I talk to people, even if it's at a party and people say, well, what do you do for a living? I say, well, I'm a project management consultant. Do you use project management software? One of the first things I can almost predict it that the person that I'm talking to says or does, they go, ugh. Don't even get me started about my project management software. And I go, well, what's going on with it? They go, well, nobody uses it consistently. Some people are still using spreadsheets. There's too much in there. I can't make heads or tails of it. I can't prioritize. There's too much. And if you're feeling that, I get it. And if you're feeling that, it's time to nuke your system. So the first step to nuking your system is to remove everything. And I take this approach when I want to organize my closet, or if I want to clean up the pantry, personal stuff, where I say this all the time with laundry. I want to nuke my house and I want to start from scratch. And that's exactly what we're going to do in a digital sense. And like I said, I do that when I clean. If I want to organize my closet, I pull everything out. So I'm starting with a blank slate, and then I put things back one at a time where I want it. So that's basically what we're going to do for ClickUp. Let me zoom in so you can see this better. This is ClickUp 4.0. If you have a relatively new workspace, this is what you will have. If, like most of us, you have had ClickUp for quite some time, 4.0 is being rolled out little by little. So this is 3.0, like we're all used to. This is 4.0. So this may not look familiar to some of you. Why does this keep popping up? May not look familiar to some of you, but this is a good intro to it. So to nuke your system, I added a whole bunch of random spaces here. So we've got marketing, we've got agency operations. Look at this. We got some scope of work documents. Let's see, operations. We've got some process development stuff. We don't have anything here. So let's add some more. Let's add some more shit because this is not messy enough. So we'll go to the template center and we will, let's add a social media content plan. That sounds cool. We'll put that in our marketing space. Marketing. No, wait, is this oh, that's just a single task. I don't want a single task. I meant to prep more of this morning, but let's see. Agile marketing, advertisement. Yeah, let's add an advertisement list. We'll put that in marketing. We can, let's see, marketing projects, design some social media stuff, create an ad campaign, create a QR code list. Let's see, we're planning an event here. I didn't mean to pick things that are marketing heavy, but a lot of us, well, I shouldn't say a lot of us. Marketing's a pretty popular use case topic for ClickUp. So I've got a whole bunch of things here. Let's see. I wanted to add some more things to operations. Next time I will be better prepped. See, we can also go here. Let's see. Let's do some product design too. I do have a bunch of clients that do product development, whether it's software or real products. I actually have a client right now who has a product development workflow for real products. They manufacture heavy machinery. They are so much fun. And then I have two clients doing software development. So let's see, engineering and product design board and development schedule. Let's see, new product development. Perfect. Let's grab that. We'll put that into operations and we will get messy. So we've got all these different events we're planning. We've got marketing projects. We've got a whole bunch of stuff here. So while this is loading, let me tell you the first thing that I would do. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my custom field manager and I'm going to create a custom field. I'm not going to put it at the workspace level. Well, yeah, I don't want to show you bad habits. We'll put it in marketing to start with. I'm going to create a brand new field. I'm going to make a drop down and I call mine swim lane. It could be department. It could be work category. But I'm going to call it swim lane for now because that's what I do. And for swim lanes, they are the categories of work, very high level. So I'm going to call this operations, or you can call that biz ops. We're going to have marketing. We're going to have sales. If you are maybe in a professional services industry, you would probably have client work. Maybe, let's see, what else would we have? We'll have strategy work. Since we own the company or we are leaders in the company, strategy, strategy work, which is going to be, that high level thinking where you need time blocks where you're not doing anything else. So operations, marketing, sales, strategy, and let's see, we'll call it productivity, because I have a productivity category where I do things to organize myself. So that's a good start. We'll sort those alphabetically. So this is the first thing I would do, is I would create a category to categorize and organize your work. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to add this to other locations in ClickUp. I'm going to add this to my operations space. I'm going to add this to my agency space. I should probably create another space for sales. Let's do that. Sales. I'll just put that in project management. I'm not going to go through. Oh man, I got to get this upgraded to the, all right, let's see. Space, agile. We're going to get rid of that. Delete space. I got to get this upgraded to the higher plan so I can have more spaces. All right. Let me know while you're watching how this could be better. I've done plenty of pre-recorded sessions and even webinars where, I've got a script, I've got a plan, I know what I'm going to talk about. I have not done too many of these live sessions, and I know I tend to ramble on and fumble. So I would love your feedback on how to make these more fun to watch, because the last thing I want is to do a live stream that's boring and that nobody wants to watch. I feel like one of my personal missions is to create experiences that don't suck. So that's kind of a side note. I want to create webinars that don't suck. I like to have kids' birthday parties that don't suck, stuff like that. So Account Hub, Account Manager, Bonus Matrix, let's see. Sales KPIs, sales page, I don't know. We'll do a sales and marketing plan. We'll add that to sales. Cool. All right, so now we've got a bunch of disorganized stuff. Alrighty. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go at the space level here. Alrighty. Let's see. We've got client feedback. We've got a template guide. We've got scope of works. We've got tons of projects here. This is what I like to see. We've got a CRM here as well. Look at this. This is chock full of everything. So what I want to do first to plan for our nuking, all right, is I want to organize, or I want to categorize everything. So I'm going to delete this list. Process development. Let's see. Process development is partially operations. It's partially productivity. But for now, I'm just going to grab everything in here and I'm going to go to custom fields, swim lane. I'll call this productivity right now, because the way I like to think of operations, it's tasks that you need to complete for the business to operate. You don't need processes, even though I do recommend needing them. So this is more of a productivity thing. All right, new product development. Let's see. I'm going to create a new swim lane for this, actually. Let's see. So I'm going to add, even though this says create a new field, I'm going to add the field from this location already. Swim lane, I'm going to bring it over here. And actually what I do have a different category for this in my workspace. And I call it services development, because I'm not marketing anything yet. I'm not delivering anything yet. I'm not providing a service to my clients yet. I have to develop it. So that is what this category is for, services development. So it's things that I need to do if I want to have something to offer. So similarly here, I'm going to select everything. And I'm going to change this swim lane to services development. All right, so then if we go to agency management, so now we went through everything in operations. Let's go to marketing. I'm going to go to the space level again. Oh, advertisement. That loaded. Cool. So we have all these ads that we want to run for our company. I need to come up with a fictional company. So here I'm going to go to my space level. So it means it's going to show me every single task in ClickUp. I'm going to ungroup by list. I'm going to ungroup by everything. So it's just easy to grab. And I got 40 tasks in here. That 20, 10, and 10. Perfect. Change the custom field to marketing. Cool. So now all of those are marketing. Agency. Now, one thing that I like to do when I nuke things is I like to go through the way the hierarchy is currently set up and see if that still makes sense. I hosted a workshop back probably November, December called ClickUp Reboot Camp. And the whole concept of the ClickUp Reboot Camp was that you're working in ClickUp or whatever your project management tool of choice is. And over time, I'm going to use my closet analogy again. Over time, it gets disorganized. At the end of the day, I throw my shoes in the closet. Maybe I don't put them on the shelf. Maybe I don't put things away where they need to go. Maybe wrapping paper ends up in there. And over time, even though I have the best of intentions, my closet gets to be very disorganized. The same thing happens with ClickUp. We may start with an agency management space like this, but realize it's not doing what I need it to do right now. Like, I'm not getting out of this what I need from it, and it's causing me more work and stress. So that's another part of the nuking of the system. But for now, I am just going to categorize all of this. Well, some of this is going to be client work because we are an agency and we are managing our client projects. Okay, so I'm going to go to, let's see, this has got a filtered view. So this is one thing that's tricky too about, what is the workflow? What is that? All right. This is something tricky, not tricky, but when you bring in a pre-made template from ClickUp, you get a lot of views that you don't necessarily know how they're filtered or anything like that. So I'm going to ungroup by list, ungroup by that. So here we have our large client projects. I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to change my swim lane to client work. Where'd it go? Okay. Oh man, is this, see, I knew I should have done this in my main workspace. I will get this upgraded. PMO type. Oh, because we have too many custom fields. Oh man. Schedule, scope, swim lane, on track, off track. Let's see. Custom field manager. Oh my goodness. Talk about nuking. I don't want to nuke a whole bunch of this stuff so I don't have it anymore. Scope, schedule, PMO type. I also highly recommend doing custom field cleanups about once a quarter. Okay. Yeah, delete it, delete it, delete it. Cool. All right, that's probably not going to let me go back and use the swim lane, but let's see. Let's see, I need to hold on for a second. Sorry about that. My kids today was their last day of school and they are home. Yay. All right, is it not going to let me do this? Oh man, see, I tried to go the route of creating a new workspace and meh. All right, well, we're going to pretend that some of this is client services work. So what I like to do is make a dashboard, which again, I should have had already, but I'm going to ungroup by list and I'm going to group all my work by, oh, I can't do this at the everything level because I don't have that custom field at the everything level. Well, this is where dashboards come in then. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I got to do this in my normal workspace next time because I'm not going to have all the dashboard cards either. Because I'm probably not going to have a custom pie chart. Damn it. Damn it, damn it. Yeah, this is what I get for trying to play with something the day of I want to do a live stream. Well, I can show you the cleanup without that. Or I could show you really quickly what this looks like in my workspace. So if we go back to productivity nerd, so on one of my dashboards, if you want to see all of my work, here's all my sprint dashboards. Let's see, I don't know if I have an everything dashboard. Let's see. Yeah, I got to talk about cleanup. New dashboard demo. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Let's see. You know what? New dashboard just for the sake of right now. I'm going to start from scratch. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a custom bar chart where location. Now, see, for me, also, maybe this makes a little bit more sense. Not every single space in my workspace is real work. For me, because I work with clients and because, let's see, all right, my live stream is still going. Because I've got client work in here and because I am a ClickUp consultant, I have a lot of pre-built templates that I have in ClickUp that are not necessarily actionable. So I'm going to go and pull from everything that I know is actionable, which is my Scrummy Scrum and my tasks and my client delivery. So the end result of our nuking is going to be a very concise, narrow organization here. But let's see, I don't want to measure by status. I want to on the x-axis, I'm going to have my swim lane, and let's just see what that looks like. Perfect. So this is everything that's in ClickUp. This is not what's just assigned to me. This is everything in ClickUp that has been categorized. So then this is a good way to go, okay, clearly I have a ton of marketing tasks, and a lot of this is brainstorming of content that is not actionable. So that's another, so this is a really good firsthand lesson too of there's not 103 things I need to do for marketing. There's 103 things categorized as marketing. And this is probably going to, let's see, in my settings, it's including subtasks, which is another thing that we'll have to tackle. But at least here I can show you that this is what I was trying to achieve in the other workspace. So let's go back there because I don't want to move around things in my real workspace. Alrighty. So we've got marketing, we've got operations, agency management, and sales. We can't tag our things with our category, but that is okay. What we can do though, and I know I'm not assigned, Dog Jojo, that looks fun. I know I'm not assigned a lot of these things, but if we go back to the everything level, which is now called all tasks, now I see every single task in ClickUp grouped by status. All right. So this is another eye opener here when you want to nuke. And I should make a nuke checklist. Maybe I'll do that and then I'll put that out for you to download is what to go through systematically when you want to nuke something. Is look at all these statuses. I wonder if I can collapse all these. Because what I end up seeing a lot when I get into a client's workspace for the first time is there's a status called to do, pending, not started. Sometimes there's an in progress, an in process. And it makes trying to make heads or tails of things very, very, very difficult. So I highly recommend a standard set of statuses that are very simple for almost all of your work. So as we can see here, I bet we have more than 100 and, because it's grouped by statuses. If I group by none, here we go. In the workspace I started this morning by throwing templates in here, we've got 286 tasks. And how the hell am I supposed to know what to work on today? Like this is insane. So the first thing that I recommend when nuking, I said this before, and again, sorry, I'm rambling, coming full circle, is to move everything into a nuke space. I don't know if I can create another space with the free account nuke. Normally, I also date it. So today is June 19th, and I'm going to say all tasks and projects moved on June 19th. You can do this with your email too, which I did recently. I read a concept that I'm applying here of, if your inbox is insane in your email and there's no way to get through everything, take everything everything in your email, move it all to an archive or whatever, a dated folder. That way you're not deleting everything. You're just moving it and clearing that visual clutter. And then if you need something, it's there, but you're removing all that clutter. So that's kind of what we're doing here. So we have a nuke list. So I would move everything. Now the problem I'm seeing here is another thing is that we've got our categorization, we've got our swim lane, but we don't know what's a project and what's a task. And again, ClickUp's not going to let me do this because it's the free plan, but I'm going to move everything. But when I do move it, I don't know what all of this is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm basically taking everything down a level of the hierarchy. All right. So now I'm going to make a folder for marketing. I'm going to make a folder for sales. Where ClickUp, I hope that subfolders come out soon. I know it has been updated on the feature request, but I don't know where it is on the status. So operations, and let's see, client delivery. All right. So now I'm going to make that. That mirrors almost everything we're doing. Okay, awesome. And this list I'll just call random. Why can't I find rename? There you go, rename. I'm just gonna call that random. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through marketing and I'm going to move all of these things into this marketing folder. I know it seems like we're just select all, add custom fields. I know it just seems like we're shuffling things around, which we kind of are, but it'll make sense soon. All right. And every time you create a new space or folder in ClickUp, it automatically creates a list called list, which is, super helpful. But I guess everything needs a starting point. All right. So now we're going to take sales and we're going to take let's see, what's in our sales and marketing plan? Oh, we're going to make a billboard with Ryan Reynolds. We've got a New York Post article. Cool. Okay. So we're going to move that into sales. I'm going to delete the list. Yep. Okay. Operations, process dev. We're going to move that down to operations. And I'm going to try to go till the top of the hour. New product development, that really doesn't go in operations. I'm going to make that into a folderless list. All right. So operations is empty, marketing's empty, sales is empty. Good. We're making progress here. We're clearing out the closet, as I like to say. All right, now this, because we already have folders, to be honest, I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to leave this where it is and tackle that on its own. All right. Now here's what I like to do from here. One of the biggest things that helps me is to differentiate a project from a task. And I've played with other project management tools. I tested out Motion for a little while, tested out some other tools. And one of the things I really liked about them, even I think Notion Motion, is they've got a distinct way to categorize a project from a task. And a task is something that can be a standalone. Like my favorite example is I need to go pick up donuts on Friday morning for the office meeting. Or a task can be something that is part of a project. So I like to call a project anything that is 2 or more steps. I think that's from the Getting Things Done method, which my system is a very, very hybrid system of getting things done, Scrum, and some other things that I've learned along the way. But anywho, so we're going to, what was I just saying? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I want to categorize a project from a task. So what I want to do is kind of go through this, and I want to make new task types. Let's see, form, response, meeting note. So a task type is similar to a dropdown, where it's a way to categorize things, but it's a way to categorize things on another granular level. So by default, task, is the default. Let's see, do we have, here we go, project. So I'm going to add a project. Let's see, a resource, a user story, an objective, a lead. Yeah, let's use that. A key result, if you're using ClickUp for OKRs, you can have goals, objectives, deals, if you're using ClickUp as a CRM, which this has, content, if we're doing marketing campaigns. So this is a way to differentiate the work in ClickUp. Because up until recently, a task was a task was a task. And it didn't matter if it was a campaign, if it was a lead, if it was a random task to pick up donuts. It was the same thing. But now, the task type doesn't change the functionality difference of the task, but it does let us just get a little bit more granular. And I love details. I love that. I love data. I love details, because the more data you have, the better you can plan and make changes. So anywho, so this is our event project plan. Build an empire, hiring for startups. So these are webinars that we are going to run. Let's see, reporting, prepping, planning. So I am going to call all of these a project, just to be simple. So if we go over here, task type, project. So again, using the Scrum methodology that I taught in the Scrum Operating System 3-day challenge, we want to differentiate projects from tasks so we can limit how many projects in progress we have. So this is a project because it is made up of different components. All right, networking. Let's see. Skiing, big sessions. Here's another task type I like to make. Do we have it? Is like an idea or inspiration. And because I like to use ClickUp to store ideas. But an idea is not actionable till I decide it is. So I'm going to call that idea, inspo, ideas. So anything that I want to log but is not actionable. Awesome. Okay. Because we can also use those task types in dashboards and filters and all sorts of stuff later. So let's see, networking, new event. I'm going to call this an idea, a task type of an idea or inspo, because we don't know if this were in planning. Project, night at prep. So these are technically projects, and then they are task type project, and then your swim lane marketing project. Okay, cool. I probably should go through all of this event. You know what? Oh, we have conferences. So one thing you can also do is within each department, you can have a further category, just like we have here. We have event type, masterclass, conference. That way we are categorized by the task type of project at the highest level. Then it is a marketing project. Then it is a masterclass, or it is a conference. And again, by project, I just mean that anything that takes 2 or more steps to complete. That's all. A project could be onboarding a new hire. A project could be onboarding a new client. A project could be, a project could be, I want to create a nuke your workspace checklist for you to download and use. So it's not letting me do anymore. Damn it. Let's see. Oh, I can do them one at a time? That doesn't make sense. All right, next time I'll be better prepared with my real workspace. Anywho, you get the point. Marketing projects, I would do the same thing here. One thing you can do, but we're going to move things around, is you can set a default task type for a list. That way, any task you create in that list gets that task type. Nope. Okay, cool. Whatever. So you get where I'm going with this. Sorry, just whacked my mic. You get where I'm going with this. Sales. So for these, let's see. So this is sales and marketing plans, activities, getting started guide. So let's see. In a business, marketing activities are very crucial. Yep. The list views, space. All right. Let's see. Does it tell me what custom fields we have? Oh, here, custom fields. Drop down a series of options, people, date, progress. All right. Well, let's see. Let's see what's in here. So these are all campaigns, marketing stage, marketing type, sale. Okay, so these are all campaigns basically. So we could give this, billboard, we could call it a campaign. Come on. All right, whatever. So these are all campaigns. So these would be called, I wouldn't call these sales, to be honest. Marketing gets the attention. Sales then talks to the people who say, hey, I want to talk to you. But anywho, damn it, this is not helping. But so these would all be projects. These would mostly all be projects. I should have a random task list that I could show you, but I don't. But the first thing I would do is categorize tasks from projects. All right. And then what I like to do from there is right now, and this is how my workspace used to be before November, December. I had a space for every department. So I had my marketing space, I had my operations space, I had my client delivery, I had my sales. And within that, I had different folders. Like I had a folder for ideas in the marketing space. I had a folder for ideas in operations. But where it didn't work for me, it originally did, because I thought, all right, I'm going to categorize my work by the type, by the marketing, by the sales. And then I'm going to subdivide by actionable versus non-actionable. What I was finding was that it was very difficult for me to sort through what is actionable and what is not. And a lot of you have told me that as well, is that it's hard to filter through everything. So that's another reason why I like to use the task type of idea, so you know it's not actionable. Let's switch again back to my workspace, and I'll show you, since I can't do the actual custom fields. I'm just going to show you here. So let me refresh. So I've broken down my workspace. So once you have categorized everything by a project or a task, then I want to hide this. Why can't I hide this? This is one of my demo spaces. See, I have a ton of spaces, but a lot of them are just demo stuff. All right, there we go. Now it's hidden. So the biggest change that I made that has helped me tremendously is to create spaces by projects. Like I said, Motion, Notion, some of those. It's very specific about what's a project and what's a task. So Scrummy Scrum, if you've seen any of my recent webinars, is all of my projects. I have all my projects in a list with the project type list. Alrighty. It doesn't matter what swim lane it is. Here's my swim lane. Alrighty. Except that one doesn't have one. This one is marketing. So I can have a board here so this is my board by swim lane. And then in a very rare situation, I've created an ad hoc swim lane for a very specific project, like the Scrum Operating System 3-Day Challenge, which is this. Because sometimes, usually I advocate for a task as a project with everything that you need to do as subtasks. But for something like, let's see. Let me show all my closed subtasks. For something like prepping for the 3-day challenge that took me 2 weeks or more, I wanted an entire list as the project because I wanted to embed a Google Doc in it. I had a Figma board and I wanted those all as my views. But what I did instead is I had the task. It is in multiple lists and it also exists over here. And all of these subtasks are separate. But that's getting kind of a little ahead of myself. So in my Scrummy Scrum space is all of my projects that I'm working on, something that is going to take me more than 2 steps and probably several weeks or months to complete. All right, then tasks. So as I said before, originally my hierarchy was set up marketing, sales, operations, client work. And then I said I had ideas and stuff in each one. So now I've broken down tasks into its own space and ideas and planning. So everything that is a brainstorm, an idea, something that I want to tinker with, but I'm not putting it into practice yet, goes here. And I do want to create more specific folders like ideas and brainstorming. I love this one, repetitive shit that I want to automate. What do I have in here? Transcribe voice notes. Some of these things, I don't know if I can automate those, but what I should have done, and I can show you what I have at the client delivery space level, for example. So all my client work goes in here, and each client is a project. I'm sorry, each client is a task. And in my tasks, I have my getting things done, which again, I don't use this fully anymore. I'm kind of half using it. I've got my marketing content hub, which, because again, they're not full-blown projects, but I want to track my content, which if you have a really, really great way to track content in ClickUp that works for you, let me know, because I suck at it and I don't do a good job at it. Then I've got my marketing tasks. So these are just ad hoc tasks that really are not projects. Even though create branded Canva templates, it's stuff that I can do, over time. It's not necessarily a project that has a end date. Like I had to prep for the ClickUp webinar a month ago, and it was a project because it had a finite start, it had a finite end, and it had a due date, a hard due date. Something like creating branded Canva templates, it doesn't have a hard deadline. So I'm calling this a task too, even though it has multiple components. So I'm a little bit hypocritical here. But I can show you that. Do I have the automation here? No. I can show you the automation client delivery. Again, I love automations. Here, I have an automation that when a task is created in this entire space, set the swim lane to client work. That way I don't have to remember, because my brain sucks at remembering. I should have an automation here. Let's see. Same thing. When a when a sign changes, change list. When a custom field changes, change list. I don't wait. This doesn't make sense. What are these automations? When swim lane is changed to sales and when swim lane is sales and the task type is filing cabinet, move it to my sales filing cabinet list. Oh, I have an operations. Here you go. Operations filing cabinet. This is the other one I wanted to show you. This is stuff that it's not even brainstorming anymore. It's maybe resources that I've downloaded. Like, I don't know, a sales one, maybe 8 ways to write a cold email. Those are, I'm calling them filing cabinet items. They're non-actionable. They're resources that I just want to organize. It doesn't make any sense that this automation is here. What is this? Yeah, these automations definitely should be elsewhere. These are all sales. What the hell? Anywho, what I should have done is say when a task, I won't say task or subtask is created, set swim lane to, oh no, not set swim lane. I'm sorry. Set task type. Task type to, where's my inspo? I have idea and inspo. Shit. I'll say idea. And then probably marketing ideas. In this one, I could say when, what marketing is, no, here I could say when, no, I want to create a new automation. When a task is created, set swim lane. Is it not in here? Maybe I don't have it in here. Well, that's what I should have done. Set swim lane to, do I have it here? BizOps? Let's see. When task is created, there you go. Set swim lane to BizOps. There we go. When task moves here, set swim lane to BizOps. That way everything is automatically categorized. So here we can see these are all my tasks. So here we've got, I need to complete some paperwork from the bank, or actually I'm waiting for the bank to get back to me on paperwork I submitted. Here are all my estimated tax payments. This one is completed. I did that. Mark that as complete. And just random stuff. So then client delivery and ideas and planning. So, and then learning and certificates. So, oh, here's a lie. I do have a filing cabinet here, but then professional development. I like to track, like I'm in 2 different coaching programs right now. One's marketing, one's for consulting. So I've got all of the courses and materials and notes from all of that. Also tasks from learning inserts. I was going to take my PMP exam. I did not, but this would technically be a project. And then these would be all of my tasks. I had, get I think it was a 6 Sigma white belt. That was in my tasks in my learning and certificate task somewhere. And then for me, template library. I always recommend a template library. I do not have time to get into that now, but my template library and then my wiki. I recommend every company have a wiki. So this is my process library, which I also want to templatize for you guys to be able to download. So these are all of my processes with a link to the Google Doc. Any of my client delivery. Again, this is like wiki FAQ stuff. Like if I need to get my client their discovery prep checklist, this is an index of, resources and things for my clients. ClickUp verified consultant resources. So all the stuff I need for that. So again, the wiki is separate. The non-actionable things are separate. My tasks are separate. And then my projects are separate. So we've got about 10 minutes left. That in a nutshell is really how I would do a nuke and a reset. There is a lot more nuance to it. Let's see. Where is my thing? Screen share. Can I go? Come on, OBS. Welcome. Let's see. There we go. There I are. So there is a lot more nuance to this than what I presented, but for the sake of today, I think that is a good overview of how to nuke your ClickUp. So I think that talking through things out loud is very therapeutic for me. So I think that it would be helpful, or you tell me if it would be helpful to create a guide for a how to nuke your project management system checklist. So I'll go through everything that I talked about and prepare that, and maybe by next week. I don't know if I'll have it done in the next week or so, but that's something that I'll put in the newsletter. So you want to nuke your project management system. That was the topic of the Unfcked Weekly Volume 1 live stream. If there are other topics that you would like to see, you put it in the comments, shoot me an email, and I will see. See, now I'm rambling again, because I want this to be beneficial to you. Again, I don't want to just put together a list of things I think are important and just send them out to you. So I will put the link to the form to submit something you'd like me to talk about in the newsletter in the description. I will also, what else? You can also submit a request for the Unfcked Weekly there. I think that's it. If there's anything else that I talked about today that you would like me to deep dive into further, put it in the comments, shoot me an email, because I want to use this weekly live stream to just tear down what's not working. For me, what I love to do, and I'm a very visual person, is I could talk to you all day about how to fix things, but I like to show you how to fix things and what it could look like. So I'm going to start making a list for myself of the common client issues and challenges that I have encountered over the last 3 years of working in ClickUp, and make demos and show you, how to rip them apart, how to build them back together. Or maybe I can do, if you'd like, maybe I can do a week on just automations, or a week on ClickUp Brain, or a week on how to write a process, or a week on how I catalog my processes and put it in Gmail and use integrations. And, I can go super simple some weeks. I can go super deep and granular and technical other weeks, but this is for you. I hope it's been helpful. I had fun. Thank you for, trudging through my technical difficulties. I will get the demo workspace set up better for next week. But until then, let me know if there's anything you would like help with, and take some of these lessons, and I hope that you can use it to be more productive.